Many of you probably overlooked a shooting incident involving the LA County Sheriff's Department and a woman named Niani Finlayson. News of the event has been making the rounds, along with wild, race-inflamed takes told by the usual suspects. This was a domestic dispute, and if you know anything about policing, you know that domestic disputes are dangerous as hell for all involved. This incident will prove no exception. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With cold, blunt analysis, cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
By the way, I'm drinking these Modelo Mango Chelada beers. A YouTuber named AG Tactical turned me on to these things and yeah. By the way, he's pretty chill and has some great Daryl Brooks content. I'll link him in the description. Okay, so let's go ahead and play the 911 call.
Yes, hello. I need the police here. This man, he won't get out of my house now.
So this man will not get out of my house now. Get the police over here. The question that pops into my mind is, are you able to leave the house? If so, why are you calling us?
And I already told him to get out of my house. Okay, stop yelling. Stop yelling. So who is he to you? His name is... He will not leave me alone. Ma'am, my question is, who is he to you? Huh? My question is, who is he to you? No, stop up! Hello?
For someone in great peril, she has a real mouth on her. And so dispatch is probably a bit confused here.
He's touching me. Hello? Hello? Oh, damn. Yeah, I need the police here right now. No, because he won't get his hands off of me. And I already told him 1,000 times. Ma'am. Get his fucking hands off me. Ma'am.
At this point, I'm not sure if this is a serious incident or just a couple having a fight and one of them wanting to drag the police into it.
Walk away so I can talk to you.
You're yelling. Yeah.
You hear all that screaming? These are the calls that would make me not want to be a cop. Armed robberies? Yeah, no problem. Drug deals? No big deal. It's this shit that would force me to retire.
Can you see anything over there, Shelton?
They're in the back room if they're not answering.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep.
And by the way, you can hear the screaming from there. Keep in mind that it's probably been going on for 10 minutes since the original call, and the screaming has probably been nonstop since. If I'm a cop, I'm thinking, oh, hell no. I got donuts to eat. For the record, the screaming is coming from inside the apartment. They have a 911 call about potential violence. They have exigency. They can bust in if they want.
Hey, come out. Yeah, I'm gonna
Notice something. She's free to come to the door when the police arrive. So who's in peril here? Uh-oh, she's got a knife, and there's a young girl there. This is already starting to look really bad. So the woman goes back inside, leaving the kid there. Now, both the woman and the kid can leave the apartment if they wanted to. But instead, they go back inside. And they say, why didn't the cops de-escalate? Well, why doesn't she de-escalate? I'm sorry, but the citizen has every bit as much of an obligation to de-escalate the situation as the cops do. And people say, well, the woman has no training. What training do you need to know that if you walk away from the apartment, things will probably calm down. Okay, so now these guys are walking into an apartment. They have no idea what's awaiting them. But I'm sure that little girl will tell them if one of them has a gun, right? She'll warn them, right? Okay, so the woman went back into the apartment and got within 2 feet of the suspect or victim or whatever he is. The cops don't even know. He has his hands out, looks like he's trying to keep her at a distance or something. And remember, she has a knife. And she's no longer around. And by the way, at one point, apparently she told the cops that she had a knife and was going to stab him. Now, I'm not sure, I didn't hear that, but that's what they're claiming. But whatever the case, she's within 2 feet with a knife. He's within easy stabbing distance. She can stab him to death within half a second. And this is why we need qualified immunity. The cop was dragged into this by a call from dispatch. Sure, he could just walk away. We all know about that Supreme Court ruling that cops don't have to get involved, but he could be fired if he does that. So he's obligated to get involved. And as you can see, the chances of making a mistake are super high. Who here thinks that police officers should risk everything they own and ever own to immerse themselves in this crap? Without qualified immunity, I am walking away from this situation. I am not going to risk my house and my car and my kids' future to settle some stupid fight between 2 people. Just as a reminder, the woman and her daughter could have simply stepped outside to defuse the situation. Instead, they go back in and the woman gets within easy stabbing distance of a potential victim. So here's another camera angle. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a bit.
They're yelling.
They're in the back room if they're not answering. Yep. Hold on.
Hey, come out.
Yeah, I'm going to stab him because he
Hey.
pushed my
Go. Give me a taser.
What did you do? That was kind of a stupid question. He shot her. Because you and her couldn't settle things like normal human beings. No, you had to do that which compelled her to call 911 and drag these poor bastards into the fray. By the way, if a community social worker answered the call, that dude in the apartment is probably stabbed to death. This is why it's best to just go down to the Dunkin' Donuts shop, then get involved. If the inhabitants of that apartment complex want to pull out knives and go all West Side Story, fine. Or perhaps the woman and her daughter could have simply just left him behind in the apartment. They certainly didn't have any problem opening the door for the police. So how hard would it have been for them to just leave? Okay, now, this, to me, is a 100% justified shooting by cops who had little choice but to get involved because it's the nature of their job. These people put them into this position, and they could have de-escalated this rather simply, and it would not have required any training. Just act like normal people. I mean, back in the day, when the cops arrived, man, that's when all the shit stopped. Whatever you've been doing, whatever shenanigans you've been up to, when the police arrived, it was, oh crap. But you can see here, there's no respect for law and order. When the cops arrive, they just go on fighting and hollering and screaming. And speaking of screaming, what does it take for them to shut the hell up? I mean, screaming like a banshee is not going to settle the problem. When has it ever? So there are calls now for the cop to be fired, and we have some real doozies coming up in the next video. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.